Hello folks. Well, I wonder what this is. Look, who knows? What could this be, I wonder? That I'm going to... Well, I'm not going to be unboxing it, am I? Because it's not got a box. I asked the seller to pack this well, especially around the wheels, as the wheels often break during transit. I also helpfully told the seller that the handle comes off with 2 screws to make it easier to pack. Well, this has just been posted with bubble wrap and a lot of tape. Has it survived the journey? Let's find out. Well, here it is. I initially thought it had arrived without getting damaged, and I still haven't found out where it's damaged, but it is damaged. Folks, never send a fragile vacuum cleaner through the post out of a box. They tried their best. It took me quite a while getting all that stuff off it, but it needs to be in a strong, sturdy box and internal packaging. I have no idea where this is from yet. Wherever it's from, there's no way I will get a replacement. Not in the right colour. This is a lot creamer. It looked very yellow in the picture. As you can see, here's a picture of it from the, or pictures from the eBay listing, and it did look very yellow. This should be white, as far as I know, this Turbopower Boost, but it's suffered. I wonder if there's going to be any part of this that shows its true colour. I mean, it's cream everywhere. Oh, I can... I haven't discovered that damage yet. There's a little bit of damage here. You can't see it, but that's okay. You see, plastic goes brittle, and I think white plastic, that's loose, white plastic does tend to suffer. Obviously, white plastic often goes yellow or cream, as this one has. Where's that damage? Now, it's missing one of the tools, which I might be able to source. It's missing... Oh, that's where it's broken. Right. Just here on the tool caddy. Now, that isn't quite as bad news. I mean, I might be able to get a scrap total system with a tool thing. I mean... This bit obviously fits here. I mean, it is possible that I can glue this. Oh, that's where it goes, look. Can you see? Now, it's possible to glue that, I suppose. Whoops. There's some other bits. We'll have to see. But fortunately, it's not part of the main cleaner. This part does come off. There may be a chance of me getting a scrap part, or even getting, possibly, there may be somewhere that's got one of these for sale, but expect to be in black, but I'm not going to be too bothered. If I can get this cleaner back to white, it does have some black in it because it's got the hose and everything, so a black tool caddy on the back with these grey tools won't look so bad. Let's just pop that down there. One thing that I knew was broken from the pictures, and it's something that commonly breaks on these turbo powers, is this little hook here. There should be a hook that secures the cable. Now, I have actually bought a replacement, but it's of course in the generic black, so I do have a replacement for that. So I knew that before I got the machine, so that's okay. I do also have a new motor for this in case I need it. Hopefully I won't, but I have a new motor. Now, the wheels, they've survived. So just a shame about the tool caddy. Both wheels have survived intact. So that's good to see. And apart from, it's got the hose, of course, and it's got the extension one. It's just missing the upholstery nozzle. I might be able to source one of those. Yes, that's where the crevice tool goes. So that's the part that's broken, the bit that holds the crevice tool. So even if I can glue it, I'm going to have to be very careful with removing the crevice tool. So I'll keep all those bits safe. I'll just pop them up here. I'll see if I can get some money off for the damage. It's got a very slight lean, but not too bad actually. A lot of these do suffer from leaning. It's a fairly sort of deluxe version. I think the one above this from this generation would have been the metallic, I think they called it Lagoon Blue Metallic or something. Sort of a bluey green metallic with a metallic fleck. It was the Autoflex version. So apart from the Autoflex, I think this is more or less the same features. Obviously there's a blanking piece here where the Autoflex button would have been on the top model. It's got 2 speeds. But being a boost model, I didn't realise that. I did have a Hoover Turbopower Boost in a sort of a lilac colour, which was a Curry's exclusive. I had that from new, and it had a switch like this. So basically it has the low speed and it has a boost. So it's not a 2-speed switch because you've got to keep your finger or thumb on the boost position in order to keep it at high speed. So it does. I thought they had just had a 2-speed motor and, you know, the higher speed was boost, but no, it doesn't stay. So you have to hold it down for the boost action. This model has, of course, the adjustable air freshener control. I can't smell any sort of air freshener, so I doubt it's got one in it. So here's the other side of the air freshener control. So if I carefully pull this without causing any damage, it does have one in. Give that a sniff. It's lost most of its odour. I've got a few of these, so I'm not obviously not bothered about that. That's probably the original one that was in the cleaner. It does look a lot whiter. I don't know if this was white. I mean, it's quite cream inside. It's still a lot lighter than the outside of it. Now if I do attempt retro brighting, which I probably will, I've learnt my lessons from the last attempt, and instead of brushing the hydrogen peroxide cream on as I did and wrapping it, I'm going to put it underneath a big see-through plastic box and not actually have anything touching it. I'll probably put a little bit less on as well. There is another method that a viewer told me about which could work, and that's using those oxygen-based stain remover powders. So it's possible I could try that. I need to get one of those large underbed boxes, you know, those big plastic boxes, which I want anyway because I don't think the box I have will fit this. So in that I can actually fill that with the water and some of the hydrogen peroxide, the oxygen boost washing powder stuff, the stain remover, and soak it in that and try that as well. Might be a bit more gentle than doing it, but I think I would like. It doesn't look bad in the cream actually, so I'm going to be quite careful with what I do. I'm going to probably do a test piece first. In fact, I could possibly use the broken tool holder on the back to test it out, and then possibly, if that works, I'll do the side tool holder, because this comes off as well, that holds the hose and the tube. That'll come off. So I'll attempt it on those pieces before I go on for the main body, which obviously is the cleaner head, the bag door, the back of the bag, and the handle. The hose will benefit from a really good soak and a clean. It's got a bit of paint on, but even that should come off in hot soapy water. I don't think I'll need it. I can just scrape it off with my fingernail actually. So that's not too bad. This feels very fragile. And here we have the cleaner head. It's got the headlight, the bulb. I would be very surprised if the bulb works, but they're easy to get hold of. Now it's still got the sticker here. Now, what's going to happen if I take this sticker off? Oh dear, look. So, Obviously I'm going to clean this up. Now with that sticker off, you can see a definite difference, but it's still quite creamy. So I wonder if that is the original colour. Now the brochure I've got, which I'm sure features this model, and this is a 90s cleaner. I can tell from this font here where it says Turbopower. This will date from 92 onwards or some. We'll have a look at the rating. Dubry, of course. But at least, unlike the Turbomaster that they left the sticker on, it's not actually etched in any of the writing. So everything's going to be cleaned up, but that is going to be noticeable. So I think that, if I can get it to that colour, it might go all white, I don't know, but having two different colours is going to make it a bit awkward. It certainly is dirty. It needs a good clean, obviously. And you've got your height control here. So your low pile, sort of regular pile, medium, and then, oh, is it going to move? Yeah, it's a bit stiff. Obviously it all needs a good clean, and then that will obviously move a lot easier. And then when you're using it on the tools, they've got the tool setting, which does two things actually. It raises the head to the highest position, so the brushes aren't touching the carpet, not brushing the carpet, but it also, there should be a little slider with a spring that slides across, so it diverts the suction from the front of the cleaner where the agitator is through the hose. Now these were never very good with the cleaning tools, not very powerful suction. With the first Total system uprights, Hoover just basically bolted on a hose onto the side. They did a few changes, but basically they just took the existing Turbopower design and also Turbomaster design and just shoved on a hose at the side, put on the tool caddy at the back, and of course made a diverter underneath. So it wasn't designed initially to have this, and it's a dirty air vacuum, so the suction is not great. And obviously this is before stair cleaning hose. This is not going to get anywhere near the top of the stairs. You could buy an extension hose for these. I do have one for my Turbomaster, but you could get it in the Cotswold beige colour, and I think you could get it in the black or this grey colour as well as an option. That's what you needed. So this is absolutely useless for cleaning stairs, really. It wasn't really until the Turbopower 2 design, which was designed completely new from you know, base upwards. It was completely new design and incorporated the tools into it. Much nicer design, the Turbopower 2, because obviously it wasn't clamped on. I always prefer the non-Total systems in the Turbomasters and Turbopowers myself. I think they're more aesthetically pleasing. They're not symmetrical, are they? When they've got the hose on the side, it doesn't look quite so good. Right. Let's lower it and have a look at the old rating. The bellows, they seem okay. You can still buy bellows, but that seems intact. Right, let's have a look, see if we can date this old girl, shall we, folks? Okay, so I think that's the best angle we can get at the moment. So it's a model U2716. 240 volt 50 hertz, and it's a 575 watt motor. I think 25 watts of that is for the headlight bulb, so it's a 550 watt motor. And the serial, it's a bit hard to see, U2716 207 04588, registered trademark, made by Hoover Limited, Great Britain. Okay, so here's the underbelly of the cleaner. Wheels seem okay, the front wheels. The base plate, a bit of an odd colour difference here, isn't there? But that looks okay as well. The agitator, right, well look, definitely needs a new belt there. The belt's probably snapped, we'll have a look at that. I do have a new activator, they call them activators rather than agitators. I do have a new activator body for this, because I think the bearings, that it's smooth, So I think the end caps and the bearings will be okay in this. Just give them a clean and a bit of an oil or grease. But I will replace the brushes. Seem a little bit shorter than they should be. Let's take this base off, shall we, and have a look. Check that the little diverter slider is okay, because there is at the moment one of these on eBay, the diverters, so if that's broken I can always order that. So I'm just undoing the last screw. So this has 5 screws to undo as opposed to 4 on the regular turbo powers. Yeah, that will clean up very well. Let's pop that to one side. And yes, it's got an original Hoover belt, but as you can see, snapped in two, and the seller said it was working well. Well, I don't think it would have been. I take everything with a pinch of salt that eBay sellers say nowadays. Now that's the diverter. Now I must have left it on, it's on tool setting. So this is the little diverter that moves across when you've got it in tool mode. So you can see that it more or less blocks off. The agitator's just out of camera shot. So this blocks off the suction. This is a suction path, and it blocks the suction off from going to the agitator at the front and diverts it through the hose on the side. So if I move the height control back to the high pile setting, that should open. If I can do it like this, it's very stiff. Let's move the wheel up, that'll help. Let's move it, there we go. That's it, you see? So, it shouldn't go up like that. When it's obviously when the plate's on, when the base plate's on, that won't move up. But that's what happens. So when it's in normal use, not tool mode, the suction path goes all the way to the cleaner head from the fan in the motor. And you go, see that seems okay. Don't think I need to replace that. And the spring seems alright. Once it's all been cleaned of all the gunk, it'll run a lot smoother than that, because it is a bit stiff. There we are. And the spindle on the other side, pretty rusty there, isn't it? So a bit of a Brillo pad on that. But as I said, there's a bit of resistance for a minute. I do have another motor. Now if it's compatible with this, which I think it should be, because it does have the headlight part, so it is for a turbo power with a headlight. Might be a case of just switching to the new motor. Depending, if I can get this looking good, I'll put a new motor in it. If I ruin it for any reason, then obviously I won't bother. I'll keep the motor for another that hopefully will come along at some point. I'm not bothered what type I get, as long as it's a total system. Although I don't really want the basic total system that was the last in the run, that was a very dumbed down basic version. I would like a headlight air freshener version with the bag check indicator, etc. So let's pull out the old activator to reactivate the fibers of your carpet. Yeah, I mean that will clean up, but as I have a new activator body, I will put a new activator in it, but not for this quick demo I'm going to give you in a minute. I'm going to obviously get myself a belt from upstairs, pop that on, and we'll see what the motor sounds like. Well, that was fortunate. I managed to find some belts quite quickly. Now I didn't know, it's very hard sometimes to see what models these are from, because often it's a bit ambiguous. But I did see very small lettering on here. It's a V7, and you need a V7 belt for the turbo power, the first generation turbo powers, not turbo power 2. The turbo powers and the later generation juniors, turbo power juniors, the Sprite, they take a V7. So that's all you need to search for if you're looking for belts for your turbo power 1. Just type in Hoover V7 belt. So these are genuine, but whether they're the same sort of quality as the original Hoover belts, I do not know. Now, I think you put it on the spindle first with these, and then pull the thing along. So I'll just locate it on this very rusty spindle. Some of that rust might fly off actually when it's going. Let's just check the, yeah, you see, look, that's very smooth running. I think the bearings on that are fine. So as I said, you just unscrew them and there's a central metal bar. So I think just a clean and a bit of lubrication, and fit the new activator body. I've got to pull it along. There's a little, just show you. You can only put it in one way, obviously, because that's the way the belt goes on. And this is the belt channel. That's the belt guard part. On this side, it's a little oblong shape, and on this side, it's round. And there's a round part there, round cut out, and there's a little oblong cut out this side. So basically, you pop it over the spindle, put it around the activator body, and then stretch. Now it's going to be difficult doing it backwards. Normally you'd be facing it, and then you've just got to get it in until it's in position. Ooh, don't you crack on me. Heck. Right, once it's in, which it is, you move it around just to make sure it's rotating freely. And then of course you pop the base plate back. You've got to locate it under these lugs at the front. This will all be so much easier when all this gunk has been cleaned out of it. And then obviously do up all 5 screws. Right, that's all the screws done up, and before you try the machine out, just again check that the activator is moving freely, which it is. So it's time for the big switch on. Now it's got an absolutely filthy bag in it, so it's not going to and obviously it's not original either, and it is quite full, and that's the original bag clip by the looks of it. But I will probably use those H18 fleece bags in this anyway when I do a demo. Yeah, it's a bit loose, the bag door's a bit loose. Might just be a case of tightening up a screw, hopefully. I'm just going to pop this bag back. We're just testing to see if the actual motor runs. There we are, that's closed, okay. Let's just have a quick look at the plug. I'm going to risk it. It looks fairly, well, I'm going to put a new plug on that, or clean that one up. That's a bit loose. Right, okay. We've waited long enough. Let's see if this Turbopower Boost actually works. Alright, count with me, folks. 3, 2, 1. That sounds good. And relatively quiet, actually. I think that sounds pretty good. Obviously, there's people who know more about the motors, but it wasn't noisy. So that motor, despite the fact I have got a replacement motor, I think that motor does sound pretty sweet and relatively quiet. Obviously, no headlight bulb. I didn't expect that to be working. Yeah. Back door's a bit loose, but I don't think it's broken. Obviously a little bit noisier in boost mode, wasn't it? I've forgotten that obviously it sounded good because it was in low power. Well, she's a bit of a creaky old girl, but yeah, I'm fairly pleased. If it wasn't for the damaged tool debris at the back. But yeah, the more I think about it, I should at some point be able to get one of those. It doesn't matter what colour it is, because I'll try and spray paint it, whatever colour this ends up as, whether I can get it to brilliant white again or it remains this cream colour, I'll just get a nearer colour to spray that, so it'll, you know, it'll look okay. Right, let's just have a quick go of the tool suction. It's not going to be great, is it, with that horrible paper, non-genuine, probably single-walled paper bag full of fine dust, but anyway, it'll be noisier in tool mode. They always were. Thing is though, yes, that's a point, isn't it? In tool mode, you can't use it in boost, can you? Unless you hold on to the handle and press the button. In tool mode, it's always going to be in low power. That's ridiculous. I didn't realise that. It didn't matter. Well, I suppose it did matter, because with the Turbo Power Boost I had before, the non-total system, which had the separate tools, again, the tools would always be used in low power. And you need, for the weak suction on these, you need the higher power. Crikey. You can buy, and I've seen it recently, I could buy a normal 2-speed switch for this that will keep it in full power. But the thing is, I like to keep things how they should be, how they were originally, as much as I can, and it's not like I'm going to be using this loads, am I? So I'm quite happy to leave it as it is. Right, let's just see what it's like anyway. Press the wrong button. Well, I'll try and see if I can feel the suction in. It's going to be a bit of a balancing act. I'm going to have to sort of... Oh, she sounds rough, doesn't she? Rough as... No, I won't say. There's a lady on Downton Abbey who played Lady Mary, I think it was, and she knows Kathy Burke. Some of you might know who Kathy Burke is, comedian. Kathy Burke is a little bit sort of down to earth, let's say. And whenever I see the actress that plays Lady Mary in Downton Abbey, or in fact when she's playing Lady Mary, I think of what Kathy Burke said about her, and she said she was as rough as, and then bleep bleep. I'm not saying what that is, because this is a family channel. I'm not telling you what she said, but it's quite funny. Right, let's put it in low power. Oof, just made a funny noise when it stopped. Yeah, it's going to need a bit of love, isn't it? You're going to need a bit of love, dear. Yes, you've come to the right place. You will get some love eventually, not that sort of love. You will get some care and attention bestowed upon you that you've never had. You're very lucky to be here, I can assure you, and you've got lots of friends to play with. Yeah, so not very good. Here's the tube, you know. Oh, pop on the old dusting tool, which, yeah, that seems fairly not very used. It suffered from the old, you know, distortion, but they all do. It's quite soft, that. Yeah, so anyway, apart from that bit of damage, I'm happy with it. It's not a bad price to pay, £50. I'll see if I can get at least a £5 off because of the damage. We'll see what they say. If I don't get the £5 off, I'm not too bothered, as I say. I was lucky that the wheels survived, really. I don't know which one goes in where. For the moment, I have to pop that. No, it's not going to hold, is it? That, you see, that has to go here, the crevice tool, because that part holds it in. It's going to be like that all the time, or it might fall off. And as I say, I've got a new one of these, so when that's fitted, it is black, but you know, to get a colour matching one is virtually impossible new. So when the new lower cord hook's in place, I'll be able to wrap the cord around like that. And you got the top hook that, oh, should rotate, but that is very stiff. I don't know why, so I won't try and force that, but that should turn round. I can't see they've stopped doing that feature. I'm not going to force it. It's got a little sticker on here. DR Electrics, 67 Eversley Road, Sketty, Swansea. This is a Welsh Hoover. Oh, and there's a hair on it, I've just seen. Ugh. Oh, it's long. It's too long to be one of those nasty little hairs. So this has come from Swansea. Well, it's been serviced in Swansea anyway. I know, okay, it did come from Swansea, I think, anyway, from the seller. So it has come from Wales, but it was built in Scotland. But it was from Wales, where, of course, the washing machines would have still been produced in Wales back when this was made. I don't know if they were onto the Logics at this time, or they might have gone onto the new Waves. No, I think they were probably producing Logic washing machines when this was in the shops. So there you go, folks. This is the first look. Now, what I plan to do, and I might have already started this new series, I'm going to be doing before and afters, but I'm going to be doing before and after videos in the same video. So I will show you a decrepit vacuum that needs a lot of work, and then bye-bye! All of a sudden you'll see what I've done to it. So what I'm going to do, yeah, but I'll obviously, hopefully I'll do another video of this, a brief video showing you how it is now, and then lo and behold you'll see what I've done to it, hopefully. But it's a project, could have been worse. I'm fairly happy with it. Anyway, if you've got any comments, questions or advice, if you can date it for me. I've got the brochures with this in, you know, I was still collecting the brochures at the time this model was current. Never had this model in the white, and who knows, it might be white again, but as I said, I'm going to be very careful. It looks a bit paler. Oh, that's fallen off. I knew it would. Looks a bit paler on the viewfinder than it is in real life, but it's nowhere near as yellow as it looked on the eBay listing. It was ridiculously yellow. That's why I thought, crikey, there's a turbo power I've never seen before, a yellow one. No, it was just badly photoshopped. Never mind. I wasn't expecting it to be, you know, I was expecting it to be cream. There you go then. Oh, it's dropped off again. Don't even try putting it back on, Roger. There we are. Thanks for watching. One day you'll see this again, sounding even better, looking much nicer, and hopefully I'll get that tool caddy fixed or replaced. Bye for now, and I'll see you all soon.